Good morning. Because you all loved the last bulking video so much, I said I'd do it again. So today is going to be a full day of eating on a bulk while also smashing a chest and shoulders session. So meal number one, we are going for 120 grams of oats. Oh, by the way, I manifested it. Okay, well, I might have had some inside information, but the last video that I did, I was like, oh, I'm not sponsored by MyProtein. Not yet. I'm now sponsored by MyProtein. Code Sean, keep an eye on their site for the next week or so. By the time this video gets out, it'll probably be right in the middle of the Black Friday deals. So some of the stuff you'll get up to 70% off. So we have scoop of whatever fucking protein you want. Then it's just a coincidence that this is also MyProtein's peanut butter. How much of this are we gonna go for? That's a lot of nut. Oh, shite. I'm just gonna say that's 25 grams of peanut butter because I didn't reset the scale. I'm saying that's 40 grams of peanut butter. We have a banana. We have what remains of the last carton of milk in the fridge. Sorry, Mom. The pièce de résistance is a dash of honey. So if you had this and you blended this, it would probably taste like ass, but the honey just saves it from tasting like ass. So somewhere around, I'm not driving, 20 milliliters. Alternatively, if you didn't have all of these ingredients, you didn't want to finish off the last of your mother's oats, and you certainly didn't want to finish off the last of her milk. Well, you still could do this, but this is where a mass gainer shake can come in handy. So I had this the other night. Now, the one criticism that I will say of the mass gainer shake is the fact that it's 5 scoops. So you're gonna need a big container. A regular shaker isn't going to be good enough. I don't know how much protein, it's like 1,000 calories per serving, so that's 5 scoops serving. Where's the protein on this thing? And 50 grams of protein. So like if you had one of those a day, that's a huge head start on most people's bulking calories. We need to get this blended up. Okay, here's a blind taste test. Because I haven't used the MyProtein peanut butter in this particular shake before, hopefully it doesn't overpower it too much. Okay, the consistency is good, it's quite liquefied. I'm not gonna tilt the fucking thing because I'll have a disaster, but it's looking good. It's not delicious, but it's very, very drinkable. The honey saves the life out of a bulking shake. So the biggest criticism that I get from people is that, oh, it tastes like cardboard. Oh, it tastes like ass. First of all, how do you know what cardboard tastes like? Second of all, how do you know what ass tastes like? Third of all, put fucking honey in your bulking shake if it tastes that bad. So assuming that the peanut butter was 40 grams, that is a handy 1,037 calories and 58 grams of protein. Easy way to make that slightly higher calorie is to use full fat milk instead of the light milk. So if you watched my leg day YouTube video a couple of weeks back, you would have borne witness to my announcement of a passion project I'm exceptionally excited by. And right here in front of you, you can see not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 variations of the sample of pre-workout that I am working very, very hard to develop. So to give a long story short, I tried the first sample that I received in that last video. The taste was impeccable, but I felt like the effect, it really could do with a lot of work. So I went back to the manufacturer, I said, look, this is my updated spec. We need to make this thing more potent. So they said, great job, let me send you 4 variations that you can blind test to see which one gives you the greatest impact. So today, we're gonna go for this one. Oh, by the way, each flavor is blue raspberry, but that's just one flavor. Here goes. It definitely tastes different. So in the interest of nothing but full transparency, I'm not really impressed with that first variation. So while there is a very noticeable undertone of focus, and while I feel it gives us the raw materials for something really, really good to work on, it's nowhere near potent enough. So the testing process is going to take the next 2 to 3 weeks, because what I'll do is work my way through each variation, taking 1 scoop, then the next week come back and try 2 scoops. This is complete blind testing. I don't know the quantities of each ingredient that's within each pouch, so there might come a variation that just completely and utterly blows my head off. But right now, version number 1 wasn't that. So we have reached the stage of my bench session where we determine whether or not it's going to be a good session. So we have 140 kilos loaded onto the bar. This is where I assess the speed, the ease at which 140 moves, and then I make a good judgment as to how 150, possibly 160, then will move.
I don't know how that moved, but I'm going to tell myself it moved well. So after upwards of a month working with 150 kilos, it is high time that we add a little bit of progression to the bar. So we're going to go gently and gradually and ease our way into sets of 152.5 kg. Maths was never my strong point. We're going to aim for sets of 5. I believe I've got it. I believe I've got it. Easy. Fucking easy. That was insane. I could have got another 2 reps there. For set number 3, the final set, we're breaking out these smelly, stinking wrist wraps, just to make doubly sure that this 152.5 goes up as smooth as the previous 2. A wise and very strong man once said that strength is not built in the top sets, it's built in the back offs. Now, I haven't looked into that information for myself, but I'm going to take his word for it, which is why I'm going to do an extra set, 4 sets in total, 1 set of a back off. We have 140 on the bar, but I'm going to practice pause bench for my 4th set, seeing as that's the goal, is to pause bench 180. I'm very sorry to say, I know how much you enjoyed the mosquito noises from my 60 kilo incline dumbbell press in the last video. But I'm not going to be able to replicate that probably for some time. Not because I'm losing strength on it, but because I've got very bad sciatica in both of my legs. But for now, you're going to have to be content with a low to high cable fly for the incline chest. I've completed just 6 sets for chest, and there's a couple of reasons why. Number 1 is the fact that my goal right now isn't to build muscle on my chest. It would be nice, but it's not my goal. My goal is to build up my strength on specifically my bench press. And while it would be great to do, for example, a couple of sets of 60 kilo incline dumbbell bench press, the risk for me is that I walk out of here with an annoying niggle in my left shoulder that I really didn't need. And then my next subsequent bench session is a little bit lower quality. Secondly, there comes a point where it might be on even just one exercise for a muscle where you're just so satisfied with how it moved, with the stimulus that you got from it, which is the case with me for my 3 sets and my 4 sets of bench press. Like that right there is an incredible strength adaptation that has already occurred. I don't necessarily need to add to that, not at my level of experience, not with the muscle that I've already built. And so I'm almost happy with what I've achieved in my first exercise. Not that I can take it handy, but I just don't need to kill myself, kill my joints, kill the rest of my muscle groups with more and more volume when I've already done quite an impressive feat that is going to stand to me in terms of my progression over the course of the next couple of weeks. Right, let's see how things are looking. I actually haven't weighed myself in a couple of weeks. I anticipate I'm about 105 kilo. Could be hovering somewhere between 105 and 110, but I do need to get new weighing scales. Right, so we are here at the Promised Land, and by the Promised Land, I mean, of course, Aldi. And the reason we're at Aldi, I know it's the burning question on the tip of your tongue, is quite simply because I need to get ingredients for my famous creamy chicken pasta. Seeing as this is a full day of bulking, after all, my cholesterol won't thank me, but my gains will. Let's head inside and see what we can get our hands on. I better wrap up. I don't want to make people feel self-conscious walking around with my 50-inch chest out. I don't know what measurement it is. Something like that. First pickings is going to be one of these. Look, I know it costs more, but for me it's just the convenience of not having to fucking soil my hands slicing up a chicken breast. We have double cream, which sounds like it's going to have more calories than just regular single cream. I'm liking the sound of the ricotta pasta sauce. Yoink. My dilemma is that I always get fusilli, and it's about half the price of this expensive pasta. But the thing is, I always get fusilli, just because it's the cheapest one. But I think I'm going to treat myself to some specially selected, whatever that means. I think it's just pasta, double the price. Conchiglione, or whatever the fuck that's called. So the real reason I went with the fancy conchiglione pasta that is a cool seashell shape, well, because fusilli pasta, look, I know it's 75 cents less, but it reminds me of my miserable school lunches when I was 16 years old. And do you know what? I'm a grown-ass man now who makes his own money, and if I want the fancy-looking pasta, I'm gonna pay the extra 75 cents to get the fancy-looking pasta. Here we have a creamy chicken pasta dish. It is my specialty, and that looks delightful. We have 110 grams of conchiglione pasta, uncooked. We have 250 grams of chicken, 1 red pepper, 70 milliliters of double cream, which is a bulking hack, by the way, about 120 calories worth of rapeseed oil, and then 180 grams, give or take, of ricotta pasta sauce. So that comes to a mean, not so lean, 1,306 calories, including 80.8 grams of protein. Is that right? Anyway, this is probably the best chicken pasta dish that I've come up with. The reason being is because now when I cook something, I just refer to ChatGPT. I say, make me a step-by-step instruction manual as to how to cook, insert chosen meal, and usually it comes out pretty good. Hey, who said AI was bad? Probably left the chicken on for a bit too long. It's not ChatGPT's fault though. Adding to this full day of eating, I was going to say 1, but let's make it 2 Rocky Caramel bars. So these are 102 calories each, meaning that once this is down the hatch, I'll have 1,000 calories left to consume for the day. And I've got time. It's like 5 p.m. Delicieux. So we currently have 949 calories left to polish off for the day. So the concoction that I'm going to go with is a bowl of honey nut flakes. And if anyone tries to tell you that crunchy nuts are on top, send them to Aldi for a bowl of honey nut flakes. If you don't know, get to know. We're going to have this with a scoop of MyProtein Origin chocolate chip cookie flavor mixed in with 400 milliliters of milk, mixed in with the honey nut flakes, and for my fiber needs, because I haven't eaten anywhere near enough fruit and veg with the exception of 1 banana and 1 measly pepper, we're gonna have grapes, blueberries, and strawberries on top. I don't know how many calories it's going to come out at. It's not going to be far off the 900 or so that I need. So, as you can see me, the room here is a fucking mess. And the reason it's a mess is a combination of 3 things. Number 1, do you know when I mentioned in the last video that I was exploring with the idea of moving to Manchester? Well, on Monday, I actually am. So, from Monday, I'm officially going to be a Manc, at least for 6 months.
Then my sister is renovating her eyelash shop, and then my other sister has, as of today, departed for pastures new of Australia. So the house is in a heap at the moment. But on to more important news, the final meal is going to bring me perfectly to 3,500 calories for the day. And that meal is, of course, 100 grams of honey nut flakes, 65 grams of blueberries, 80 grams of strawberries, 90 grams of grapes, and we have a mixture of Origin protein with 400 milliliters of milk. And to finish off the outstanding 100 calories, we're going to add in about 30 milliliters of squeezy honey. What's really interesting about this day of eating is that the fats goal, which was set on MyFitnessPal, I've hit it perfectly. So 117 grams of fat was the goal. 117 grams of fat has been nailed. Protein is at 100. Actually, I haven't put in the squeezy honey yet. Right, what's it now? It's hardly any protein. There's no protein in honey. Protein, 189 grams. Carbs, 328, which isn't huge, but calories are perfectly, well, almost perfectly on the money at 3,497 calories. But as for today's full day of eating on a bulk, that is a wrap. No, it's a bowl of cereal. Thank you very much for tuning in. By the time you're watching this video, Gymshark's Black Friday sale will be live, so your support on code Sean10 is very much appreciated and needed with the often expensive endeavor of moving to another country. As well as that, My Protein will be having various sales of sorts, so code Sean for that. And outside of that, just thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.